Hello everyone, welcome to the U.S. Immigration, your trusted source for visa and immigration alerts. If you're a visa holder or a green card holder traveling in or out of the United States, stop scrolling. DHS is rolling out a new surveillance system that could automatically analyze every single one of your trips, and honestly, the consequences could be serious. Not only will your exits and entries be recorded with facial recognition, but your travel patterns, your behavior, and your destination history could also be used to question your immigration status. Today, I'm breaking down the truth behind this billion-dollar system and what you must do now to protect your residency in the United States. A major policy shift is happening inside the Department of Homeland Security, and most immigrants have no idea how deeply this could affect them. Starting December 26, the Department of Homeland Security will begin implementing a nationwide biometric exit and entry system that captures a photograph of every non-U.S. citizen who travels through an American border, whether by air, land, or sea. While it may sound like a simple modernization effort, the actual scope of this project is far bigger. The Department of Homeland Security has committed roughly $1 billion to building a next-generation AI surveillance program that doesn't just record arrivals and departures, it actually analyzes them. This new system will create a digital record for every traveler who is not a U.S. citizen. That includes all non-immigrant visa holders, students, workers, tourists, asylees, refugees, and even lawful permanent residents. Children, seniors, and individuals with long-term visas are all included. Unlike United States citizens who may opt out and request manual passport inspection, immigrants do not have the option to refuse. The Department of Homeland Security made this very clear in its Federal Register notice. Non-United States citizens who decline to provide the required biometrics may, be considered inadmissible under federal immigration law. The Department of Homeland Security says this system will basically simplify the arrival process by replacing manual passport checks with artificial intelligence-driven identity matching at boarding gates, arrival halls, and checkpoints. Travelers will stand in front of a camera, the system will capture their photo, and that image will be matched in real time against CBP and DHS databases. The agency calls this initiative Simplified Arrival, but honestly, the impact goes far beyond convenience. For the first time, DHS will have an unbroken verified biometric record of every time a non-U.S. citizen enters or leaves the country. Until now, immigration records often contained gaps. Travelers who crossed into Canada by car or visited Mexico at pedestrian crossings sometimes weren't properly logged. Small inconsistencies in names, dates of birth, or passport numbers also made it difficult for government systems to align older records with new ones. This is about to change. The new system will automatically link past data with current records using facial biometrics. Even if someone entered the United States years ago under a slightly different spelling of their name or renewed their passport multiple times, the technology will identify and consolidate those records instantly. DHS has publicly stated that its goal is to, close long-standing information gaps and maintain accurate, consistent travel histories for all non-citizens. While this may reduce fraud, it also creates new vulnerabilities for immigrants whose status depends on continuous residence, honest declarations, and accurate documentation. For example, green card holders are required to maintain the United States as their primary home. Long absences, even if unintentional, can trigger questions about whether an individual abandoned their permanent residence. In the past, when DHS lacked complete travel data, some people could explain discrepancies by pointing to missing or incomplete records. But now, with photographs documenting every crossing, that possibility, disappears. Permanent residents applying for citizenship will see these changes most clearly when you file an N-400. USCIS already reviews your travel history, but soon, instead of relying on manual record searches, officers will have instant access to an AI-generated timeline of all your trips. If the system detects repeated long stays abroad or unusual travel patterns, it could automatically flag your application for additional review. This doesn't mean denial, but it may lead to deeper questioning, extra documentation requirements, or even, an interview referral. Another major concern is the potential for errors. Facial recognition technology is powerful, but it's not perfect. Multiple studies, including findings acknowledged by the Department of Homeland Security, show that these systems are more likely to misidentify people of color, women, and elderly travelers. Lighting, camera quality, and angle can also affect whether the system correctly matches a person's face. If the algorithm can't confidently confirm your identity, you may be routed to secondary inspection, even if you did nothing wrong. So, that means your travel history won't stay confined to just airport security. It will automatically feed into your immigration files, including any future green card renewals, visa extensions, naturalization applications, or responses to requests for evidence. If your pattern of travel raises concerns, it could cause delays or even introduce new questions about your intent to maintain residency. First, make sure your daily life in the United States is well documented. If you're a green card holder or a long-term visa holder, you should be prepared to demonstrate that your real home is in the United States. It's important to keep updated records of your U.S. address, like utility bills, lease agreements, or mortgage statements. You should maintain up-to-date pay stubs, W-2s, business licenses, or tax returns that clearly show you file as a resident. School records for your children, medical appointments, volunteer work, or community involvement can, really help to further establish your ties. Second, be mindful of how long you spend outside the United States. Even short trips can add up, and long absences are especially risky. So, try to avoid staying abroad for more than 6 months at a time. If you know you must leave for a long period, it's a good idea to apply for a re-entry permit using Form I-131 before you depart. While a re-entry permit isn't absolute protection, it does show DHS that you intended to maintain your permanent residence. Third, you should really clean up any inconsistencies in your documentation. Make sure your name is spelled the same way across your passport, visa, green card, tax records, and driver's license. If you change your name because of marriage or divorce, remember to travel with the legal documents that confirm the change. If you notice a mistake, correct it as soon as possible. Don't wait for AI to flag the issue at a border checkpoint. Fourth, keep your financial and civic documents current. An expired driver's license, missing tax filings, or indications that you've been living abroad can create problems. Before you travel, double-check that your identification is valid and your tax status is correct. Finally, protect your digital privacy. CBP officers can legally search your electronic devices. Travelers are encouraged to back up their phones, carry a clean device when possible, and use strong passcodes rather than fingerprint unlock or Face ID. So, avoid carrying sensitive political content or anything that could be misinterpreted at the border. One more group should take extra precautions: anyone with prior immigration issues, past overstays, criminal arrests, or long travel gaps. Before leaving the United States, it's a good idea to speak with a qualified immigration professional. It's far easier to resolve a potential problem while you're still inside the country than to attempt to re-enter after a red flag appears in your file. And, this biometric system isn't the only change happening. DHS and USCIS have been steadily expanding their enforcement capabilities. Over the past year, adjudication officers have gained new tools, new investigative authority, and broader discretion when reviewing immigration cases. These developments signal a broader shift toward enhanced monitoring, deeper vetting, and stricter compliance requirements across the entire immigration system. So, these new DHS rules, well, they really signal a major shift in how the United States government monitors non-citizens. Honestly, the best protection you can have is knowledge and making sure you stay prepared. Keep your records clean, limit long stays outside the United States, and, make sure your life here is well documented. If you found this update helpful, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss future alerts that could impact your immigration journey. For the most accurate, timely, and trusted updates on United States